Love letter to UCLA basketball. If you haven't noticed, I kind of consider my life a movie, and it has a soundtrack. Right now, as you're reading this, I request that you go to Spotify and put on a song, Face Down in the Moment, by Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. And put it on repeat as you read this. So, dear UCLA basketball, you know I love you, and even though it didn't end up the way we wanted, you still didn't break my heart. My heart is intact. Yeah, there were things that I was disappointed in. But my heart is full. How could you ever think about saying goodbye to guys like Jaime Jaquez, Tyger Campbell and David Singleton and not have your heart full? As a sports fan, you have your teams you root for, but it's always so much better of an experience when the teams and players you root for embody something you believe in. That's these guys. David Singleton, a guy who doesn't have NBA athleticism, who isn't naturally a great defender, playing for a coach in Mick Cronin that demands you play defense or you won't get on the court. So he turned himself into a high-level defender. On a team that isn't a great shooting team, he turned himself into a lights-out shooter. When the team needed leadership, he grew into being the team's leader. Singleton leading the huddle before every game wasn't planned, it just happened organically because of who he is. He has no real future as a basketball player, and probably should have got on with his life after last season when he had graduated. But he signed on for one more additional year to try and enable this team to win a national championship. That's the purest form of the spirit of sports right there, embodied in this young man. Tyger Campbell. While you might think that the spirit animal for Cronin in his first 4 years at UCLA is Jaquez, his extension of himself on the court is Campbell. And really, none of this could have been done without that. I've watched UCLA practice, and there are so many times when Cronin starts to give an instruction, say, what offensive set he wants run, and he doesn't finish the sentence before Campbell is finishing it for him and putting the team in the set. Sometimes in practice they just look at each other and nod. Talking about a guy physically who is playing at a deficit. As Cronin said in the post-game interview, you can't get any more out of his body and his God-given things that he has that he can't change. He totally maxes out. Isn't that what we're all striving for, really? To do the most with what we've been given. And then there's Jaime Jaquez. The spurt animal. Everyone, every coach, should have one. He epitomizes the toughness, both physically and mentally, and the competitiveness of Cronin's program. Again, the theme with these three guys is doing it all for the right reasons, and getting the most out of what they have. Jaquez is, really, a 6'6" power forward with old man, rec center moves. And he's one of the small handful of the best players in the country. If you're talking about doing things for the right reasons, one of the reasons he came back to UCLA for his senior season was to be in school for 1 year with his kid sister, Gabriella. And, as fans, it's difficult for us to realize what these guys have given of themselves. They play themselves to exhaustion on a regular basis. Jaquez played 39 minutes against Gonzaga, while Singleton and Campbell put in a paltry 38. That's like running a marathon while playing basketball. And they've done it through painful and debilitating injuries. Campbell started off his career with an ACL tear that took him a year to recover from. Singleton took 6 months to return from a foot injury, and then probably a year to get his body in optimum shape. Jaquez limped